Hello world! Last week's riveting episode between the flat earthers and the scientists ended with the crushing defeat for the flat earthers. I guess after that shameful display of conspiracy theories, we won't be seeing them around anymore. I'll be here all week trying to be all... This week, we have on deck the winning scientists from last week versus the fake mooners. Let's have them introduce themselves.
Hello, we are the scientists and we believe in observable facts.
Hello, we're the fake mooners, and we believe that the moon landing was faked.
It would have been impossible to send a man to the moon at the time, and it's all a government conspiracy to control our minds with the Illuminati and
Okay, that's enough from you. Before we begin, we would like to have the scientists explain the physics behind the moon landing.
Hi everybody, today we would like to give you some background about the moon landing. In order for a rocket to escape Earth's orbit, the rocket would have to reach a certain velocity to counteract the gravitational force. This velocity can be calculated by applying conservation of energy by setting kinetic energy equal to potential energy. During a rocket's journey, segments of the rocket are discarded after they have served their purpose. The decrease in mass allows the rocket to have a greater velocity due to conservation of momentum.
Alrighty then, let's get started with the first topic. Fake mooners. Why do you think the moon landing was faked? Well, first of all, the pictures of the moon landing obviously show that it wasn't taken on the moon. We couldn't possibly have those tech in 1969, so the obvious answer is that the landing was filmed in a studio. You're a rebuttal scientist?
Actually, the picture reveals that it would have just been easier to go to the moon than to get expensive and advanced technology to create the picture with that type of lighting.
Oh yeah? How?
Well, first of all, if you look at the shadows, you can see that they are obviously parallel to each other. This demonstrates that the only light source that could have created those shadows was the sun. If another light source, such as studio lights, were used, the shadows would not be parallel. Still don't believe me? Let me show you. Using one primary light source would create shadows that are parallel. On the other hand, multiple light sources would create complicated and indistinct shadows. However, the picture shows that the shadows are parallel because the light source, the sun, is 93 million miles away. The only way for a studio to produce these distinct parallel shadows would be to mimic the parallel light waves that hit the moon. To do this, the studio wall would have to be lined with thousands of white point lasers, which didn't exist at the time.
So, you said, if I understand correctly, that there are parallel shadows on the moon, right? Then what's this? That's right, you're hashtag exposed. Right there, right there. Not parallel.
That picture is easily explainable. The moon has a rough and uneven surface. This causes all sorts of shadows at different angles. Even with a single light source like the sun, the shadows in the picture are merely due to the combination of the moon's rough surface and long shadows from a sun in the low sky. As seen here with the mulch, rocky terrain can cause misleading shadows that seem to stem from the objects. However, the non-parallel shadows are caused by the hills and valleys of the land.
Okay, whatever, so you can explain the stupid shadows, but what about the stars? If you're in space, shouldn't you see some stars in the background?
Well, the surface of the moon reflects the strong sunlight and appears very bright in photographs. This brightness drowns out the relatively dim light from the stars in the dark sky, which is why you don't see any stars.
Okay, fine, but there's another discrepancy in the picture that needs to be addressed. The image of the moon landing has a flag flopping around, but there's no atmosphere on the moon, so obviously the image is doctored.
Actually, the image is a little deceptive. There's a horizontal rod projecting from the post at the top of the pole to hold the flag unfurled. The flag was disturbed as it was planted into the ground and kept its bent shape because of the lack of strong gravity on the moon.
I'm still not convinced. Okay, scientists, do you have any other evidence that the moon landing is not faked?
Of course, there is ample evidence. Take this video, for example. The video demonstrates that the astronauts are experiencing a gravitational force that is different from Earth's. They are experiencing the moon's gravitational force, which is 1/6 of Earth's.
Yeah, okay. How do we know you're not just pulling our leg? The government could have easily recorded a video with the guy jumping in a suit and played it in slow-mo.
Actually, a slow-mo recording of a person jumping would not look the same as a person in space. If a slow-mo video is recreated, the person would not achieve the same height or fluidity of motion because of the difference in gravity. Since the moon has less mass than that of Earth, it exerts a smaller gravitational field. This means that the moon's gravitational force on a person is smaller than the Earth's gravitational force. Since the gravitational force is smaller, the net force exerted by the person on the moon is greater, which means that the person will jump higher.
Well, that sums it up. We had a great debate between the fake mooners and the scientists, and I think it's safe to say that the scientists won. Tune in for next week's debate on lizard people.
Bye-bye!